There's a picture that you're looking at. A young lady looking at a 6 from her view, the old man looking at a 9 from his view. Perception determines reception. Whatever you perceive, the enemy knows this. However you perceive the thing, the 6 from this end looks like a 6 to me. But from another end, on your end, it looks like a 9. A W looks like an M. An M looks like a W, depending on the position, the posture that you're looking at it from. And so the enemy deceives us. I tell this story about perception determines reception, because however you perceive the thing, whatever you perceive it to be, that's how you receive it. If people have told you that, you know what, you got to watch that Tony Jones boy. He's always packing and he's got a quick temper. So one day I'm on my way to church, and, you know, the people outside there selling fruit and stuff. And so I'm hungry. So I grab me a banana and an apple. I eat the apple on the way and I put the banana in my pocket. And so when I get to church, someone says something to me. Now you already perceive that I've got a temper and that I'm always packing. And you see this bulge in my pants. And all of a sudden, because of your reception, because you perceive that I am someone that would hurt somebody, he's got a gun, he's got a gun. I'm pulling out a banana. But your perception through somebody else's words determine how you receive me to be a man of God or a killer. Perception determines reception. Now, the next image that you're looking at is the perception that the enemy gave all the world of the Hebrew man, the Hebrew family. This was a movie done. Don Stacy, How Sleeps the Beast. The man, it says Negro. The girl, white. The payoff, lynch. Here's the write-up. The brute characterization portrays black men as savage, animalistic, destructive, and criminal, deserving punishment, maybe death. This brute is a fiend, a sociopath, an anti-social menace. Black brutes are depicted as hideous, terrifying predators who target helpless victims, especially white women. Charles H. Smith, 1893, writing in 1890s, claimed a bad Negro is the most horrible creature upon the earth, the most brutal and merciless. Page 181. Clifton R. Breckinridge, 1900s, a contemporary of Smith, said of the black race, when it produces a brute, he is the worst and most insatiable brute that exists in human form. George T. Winston, 1909, another negropathic writer, claimed, when a knock is heard at the door, a white woman shudders with nameless horror. The black brute is lurking in the dark, a monstrous beast, crazed bull or tiger, could scarcely be more brutal. A whole community is mad with horror, with the blind and furious rage for vengeance, and so they lynch the black man, the Negro. Perception. The synagogue of Satan, the prince. The reason I talked about the prince of air, because all the airways, what you're watching from NFL to BET, and I like to say BET, because they are deceived. And so they portray us as murderers. They're teaching our kids to die young. That's BET. They're teaching our women to rebel, to fight one another, to act unwholesome to act like savages. That's what the image is they're reflecting. It's the image. They teach us. Selling out for the almighty dollar. You remember that image. Spiritual wickedness in high places. Even the symbols on the dollar represent darkness. The image you're looking at now. Perception does not just determine reception. Reception produces conception. What you conceive is based on what you receive. The seed you receive is the image you conceive. So you have a picture of a black Jesus and a white Jesus. Although history and the Bible describes him as being a person of color, the powers that be, the monies that be, had our parents and our grandparents and our great-great-grandparents and so forth and so on, with pictures of Dr. Martin Luther King in my generation and a white, blonde, blue-eyed Jesus. Why? Because perception determines reception. Reception produces conception. So we perceive that this is how he's supposed to look. Why is this important? Let me show you the deception of the devil. Now, here is DNA proof. Give me about 2 minutes for this video. Here is DNA proof that the whole world is connected to people who look like me. This is not a racist statement. It's truth. When did truth become racist? When did truth become hatred? While you were killing us, lying on us, stealing our history, erasing our identity out of the history book, that's a lie. You wasn't upset with me then. I'm only telling the truth because I am called to do what I'm doing. Don't hate me. I still love you. My white brother, Hispanic brother, Asian brother, white sister, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, all of you. We've all been deceived. It is up to us that have been awakened to open the eyes of others. Not to hate, but to love, to the plan of God. Look at this video. National Geographic.
Our ancient connections may not be obvious to this group. Our ancestors adapted to different climates, and as a result, humans are now among the most physically varied-looking species on the planet. But looks can be deceiving.
We're basically identical at the genetic level. I mean, if you look at the average person's DNA sequence and compare the same region to another person they're unrelated to, you know, they're 99.9% identical.
All that? There. Look right here. This is great.
Light, dark, big, small, curly, straight, brown, blue. Minuscule genetic changes account for all of our differences. To track our ancient paths, though, scientists study DNA that stays very much the same. In men like George Dellis, it's a Y chromosome.
All that? Let's do one more.
It's been passed down the line from father to son over thousands of generations, and ultimately traces back to one man who lived in Africa around 60,000 years ago. Call him Scientific Adam. He wasn't the only guy alive back then, but only his Y chromosome survived through the ages, and every man alive today has a copy.
Yep, up and down, really push it in there.
For women like Nejla Demirci, the DNA comes from special cell structures called mitochondria, which both men and women carry, but only moms pass along. These trace back to one woman who also lived in Africa between 150 to 200,000 years ago. Call her Scientific Eve. She is the oldest root of our family tree. Africa is where the journey begins for everyone alive today.
Now, to my Negro brothers, sisters, or if you want to say black, African American, whatever box you choose to check, by the end of, this series, you're going to be checking Negro Hebrew. But I say this to you. The image that you're looking at is from Ebony Magazine. I'll say that again. Ebony Magazine. You remember that magazine. In March of 1969, Ebony Magazine was almost put out of business. Why? They published the March 1969 issue of Ebony Magazine with a black Jesus on the cover. So many in the black community was upset to the point of threatening to cancel their subscriptions. They were upset. Most of the people that subscribed to Ebony Magazine were black. Ebony Magazine is a black magazine. And when Ebony posted a black Jesus, our minds had such a claw on it. We had been so seduced by the image of the white Jesus, by the lie of the devil, that we threatened. The community threatened to cancel their subscriptions. They sent Johnson Publishing pictures of what they call the true Jesus. They sent Johnson, the owners of Ebony, pictures of white, blue-eyed, blonde Jesus. They were upset. Now, this question has been asked year after year. And I ask you today, has anything changed in Black America? Are we still convinced that this message doesn't matter? If it doesn't matter, why are we being lied?